bad witch. I'ma be rich. I'll make the beat switch. I'ma be bitch. I'm the bad witch. I'ma be rich. I'll make the beat switch. I'ma be bitch.
Happy day, bad boy. Happy day. Alright, so there's definitely major echo. Because every time I turn on the mic is on the echo mode. Echo mode! Alright, let me fix the lighting. Let me fix the lighting.
I'm the bad witch. I'ma be rich. I'll make the beat switch. I'ma be bitch. I'm the bad witch. I'ma be rich. I'll make the beat switch. I'ma be bitch. I'm the bad witch. I'ma be rich. I'll make the beat switch. I'ma be bitch. I'm the bad witch.
Now you can hear me normal without the echo. I don't know, the echo is kind of cool though. Echo is kind of cool. So, we have tried a new lipstick, and it's the same color as my lips. It's the same color as my lips. So, look, new lipstick. Oh my god. Nice. So, I was in class today and I found out that I graduate on Friday. The downside is it's not it's a graduation, then I have to have 4 more classes, and they're once a week. And I'm like, oh my gosh, college willikers. So, yeah, that's something new, you know. Just had, heard about that today. So, yeah. And I was talking to Stream about my friend who had a fat transfer in her lips and cheeks. It looks great. It looks amazing. I wonder if that's what that's what they did for my friend. My friend didn't, have anything, didn't have anything done, didn't have any work done. I think it was like militarized or something, some militarized jargon. I didn't know that this is a funny thing, because I didn't know that in the military that, I didn't know in the military that they would, work on your face, because the other day I was looking at, one of our most recent episodes, we were talking about monetary and monetize, and let me search the before and after face transfer. So I think that's what they had for my guy friend, because I know my guy friend, is not, the kind of guy that is gonna have freaking his face work on, And I can definitely tell. Alright, so there's volume enhancements. Before the face may appear hollow, after it looks fuller and more youthful. There's skin texture improvements, which before the face may appear hollow after it looks... Oh, no. Before, skin may show signs of aging. After, it often appears smoother and more radiant. And so that is how I realized that my friend had, it must have been militarized or something, because after being in the ward, his face was like much fuller and plump. So, alright, so there's some before and afters. Let me see, images. Okay, so it's called face fat grafting. Alright, let me see if I can display. Alright. Oops, hold on, I just clicked on something. Alright. So, I guess they have it for under the eyes, the forehead, and for the cheeks, and the lips. Oh, that's just the same picture of that guy. Isn't that really nice? I thought that was really nice. It's called fat transfer face grafting. And so, I guess they had lined where they were going to work on her face. The nasal folds. See, the folds are like gone. That's a good before and after. You can tell that her cheeks are more full. I feel like that picture that she just put on makeup. Oh no, you can tell. So like right here near her cheekbones. They should have added more fat to her face. I'm just saying. So you can tell some before and afters. Some of them just look the same. So look. Fat grafting face. Or is it fat transfer face? I think it's fat transfer face. That's a nice difference. Fat filler injection surgery. So I was mentioning that my friend had it looked like a fat transfer because so we were talking about it and there's apparently the dermal fillers look a little bit different than fat transfer. Fat transfer, they use the fat from your body and then they refill it in your face. So if you have belly fat, or if you have, they might use fat on your thighs. They probably use the belly fat, and transfer it to your face. Yeah, I swear your situation is miserable. Maybe it's because, that was, and my situation is not miserable. Gosh, golly gee willikers. My situation is quite stiggity. I have you know, I have stream, I have y'all, you know. Oh, if you're talking about my classes, yeah, because I thought by Friday, I was like, I'm done with my class. I'm like, yay! And then they're like, you have another month of classes. I was like, uh-oh. That was, you know, that was a little kicker, you know. Thank you for sharing the broadcast. Now is the time. Thank you. And thank you for the diamonds. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. Every kiss begins with K. Hey, how are you today? I was talking about face grafting, you know, and fat transfer. So, you know, realizing the times where I think that I have, like, I've been around someone who's had a fat transfer, and there is no, you know, you don't need to heal or anything. It doesn't really bruise you or anything like that. It, you know, it's chill. And so when my friend girls had fat transfer into her cheeks and her lips, and, you know, she has an appointment for it. So then my guy friend, I believe that he has already had a fat transfer, because I was like, there's no freaking way that, you know, because I had, you know, we'd visited each other after the ward, and and after we visited each other after the ward, I had recognized that his face was, you know, contoured differently. And, you know, the only way that your face is going to be contoured differently is if you gained weight or if there was, like, a fat transfer. And so I know that he didn't gain, you know, enough weight for it to show in his face. And I know that it must have been, you know, it must have been the forces or something like that. It must have been the forces that freaking was like, alright, you've been a good guy. And, you know, he also has a channel on YouTube, and like, you know, we're gonna give you a fat transfer, or you know, I know it wasn't a facelift. We were talking about facelifts before, and that was just because I think it's interesting. I'm not sure if you guys ever watched Nip Tuck before. Nip Tuck was pretty inspiring in the realms of, like, questioning what it would be like to have, you know, plastic surgery. And because, you know, it's the big hoot and holler, you know, with all the, you know, movie stars and stuff like that. That's something that they utilize religiously, just as religiously as some people work out. Some people, you know, sometimes they gain weight for a role, you know, and sometimes, you know. So my mom told me, she's like, because I was complaining about my cheeks. My mom told me, she's like, once you gain some weight, you know, your cheek, you know, it won't show in your cheeks. You know, your cheeks will be more plump. So I gained some more weight. I'm like, I remember, you know, the conversation with my friend girl, and I remember, you know, whenever my guy friend actually, you know, had some work, filled her face, so and that is one of the memes And I feel like it should be for me. I feel like it should, I feel like it should be for me. And I feel like, oh, I'll fill your face, so, it should be reason to want to have your face filled. Rather, than everyone having free, face fills, we're gonna exclude Enter Odyssey because, Enter Odyssey made the freaking joke. And I'm like, oh, man, of course, because there are bad jokes out there that we have made, I'm not going to be a part of the bad jokes. That's kind of a good joke. I don't, there's the only reason it could be negative is because it's considered expensive, though, and it's only expensive because you have to know, the person has to know what they're doing, and, they must have done it before and had successful, face fills, and it's something that you just wake up one day and you're like, oh my gosh, the filler fairy has come around and gifted me with, a fat transfer to my face. I mean, I can tell that, I did gain some weight in my face. It's not like I can choose, where in my face I gain weight, We're talking of, essences of perfection. And, to revive a perpetual blame is not something that, and I'm not blaming. I'm not blaming. I'm actually, for my female friend, she's spending her money on it. And for my guy friend, he didn't have to spend any money, It was free. And if it's free, and it's stiggity, in a way that, yeah, cat emoji. Only the Home Alone emoji. You're tired of changing the pillow sheet? I've actually began to sleep on top of the tree of life. Just throw a blanket over me. I'm good. I don't know if you're kidding or serious. I mean, I would, I don't know, do people just gain weight randomly because, their parents told them that, if you gain more weight, you look like you had freaking your face filled or something naturally. I don't know if that's something that I've ever, mentioned before. I didn't think that it was up the tricks of sleeves. I wasn't sure if it was up the sleeve of tricks, that the government could mandate, or will mandate, So, yeah, that's something, My female friend is paying for it. My guy friend, just had, it was of the free mandate, It wasn't a bad ketamine trip. It wasn't a bad, they actually, one of my friends said that they gave him some ketamine while, they were doing, they were doing something in his neck, some sort of surgery. He said it looked as though that there were freaking aliens working on me and stuff. I was like, well, I thought the ketamine would have, had you in a trance or whatnot. It was, he was in a really bad car accident. Trying to help some people, Is that how you spell Asia? Asia. Oh, we have an Asia in the chat. So, yeah, I wasn't sure if that was, if that was, I don't know, did he request assistance or something like that? Was it from, I felt like it was from something that I had promoted online. So, shall I know? Here's a question. How am I neon? I'm neon because, my shirt's pretty pink. That's about as neon as it is today. Oh! You're right. Stickity. Nice. Now we're neon. Oh, alright, so I just found, so there's 2 people in my classes. I had classes today. And did I tell you guys that? So I've had so many classes. They say my last class was on Friday, so I was like, so I have one more class left. They're like, yeah, no, you have one more class left here, and then because the classes I'm in right now, there's 3 classes a week on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and so they're like, on Friday is your last class. I was like, oh yeah. And then they're like, then you're going to be in another class where you have 1 class a week for 4 weeks. I was like, really? I was all of a sudden, like, all the freaking excitement just, like, drained out of me. I was like, 1 class a week for 4 weeks? Are you kidding me? I was like, oh my gosh, golly, gee willikers, when are these classes gonna end? I thought it was Friday. They're like, all right, class, so we have somebody that's gonna graduate today. And I was looking around the classroom, and then they're like, Jenny, me? Cool. And so in my mind, I'm all excited. I'm like, thinking of the things that I should do to fill the time. I was like, I'm gonna have a YMCA, membership. I'm gonna maybe start working out. I'm gonna start swimming more, because whenever you have a class every other day on your day off, all you want to do is sleep the freaking, sleep the day away, and then, maybe swim or something like that, Now it just told me I have another month of classes. I'm like, oh man. They're like, oh, they make it sound nice. They're like, oh, it's only 1 class a week. It's like, why don't you just, why don't I just have another week of classes here? I have 3 classes a week here. And they're like, why can't I just do that? And they're like, yeah, it's another month. I'm like, gosh, golly gee freaking willikers. All right. I guess I have another freaking month of classes. That doesn't mean I graduated. It means that I'm at like a checkpoint. If it was like a freaking video game, it's like, yeah, you've made it to the checkpoint. Here's your certificate of checkpoint. Don't give me a freaking certificate of graduation and tell me I have 4 more freaking weeks of school. I'm like, what in the freaking fukwai? I do sleep. I was kind of napping before. I was kind of napping before stream, and my version of napping You know, I was, I'm like half asleep. I'm like scrolling through Facebook, and some people have Facebook lives. I was like, there's been a while since I've had a Facebook live. And actually, I can stream to Facebook through Streamlabs. And it's something that I learned. I've never tried to stream to Facebook. And so then I could, and I could show you guys all my friends. I could show all my friends to my friends. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm right. It's not late. What? For Eva, it is on 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's probably 1 o'clock in the morning for Eva. It might be a little bit late, but also it might be right on time, Superb. Superb.
Do you remember seeing me here for a long time? Of course, because I love to stream. I love to talk to you guys, and I love to translate the chat. Because I would normally be in the chat chatting with y'all, and this way I can chat with y'all in a way that is stiggity. Loading. Oh, we do have dinner. We're gonna have dinner together, of course, because that has become kind of a regular stream thing is where we have dinner together. So we have more spaghettis. We've been having spaghettis a lot the past few weeks, for about a few weeks. That was loud. Spaghettis and coffee. And your Radesty? Stiggity. For the most part, I would probably mention that our streams are comedic. We have some pretty comedic streams. And you never talk about your reaction time. So I can't wait to post that video where it was me and y'all and we were reacting to TikToks on stream. Eleven scenes are not late. You have one hand in my pocket and the other one giving a peace sign. I have one hand in my pocket and the other one's hailing a taxi cab. Oh, let me fix my teddy bear. Let me fix my teddy bear. Stiggity. I was watching TikTok and they say skibbity. That was probably inspired by our stream. Loading. Oh, and we were gifted this today. I'm trying to make it work. It is a vape, and it's also a cell phone, and also it has games. No. Just trying to make it work. I don't know how it works. So this is the screen, and you can connect it to your Bluetooth, and then you can make phone calls, and you can connect to Facebook, and all sorts of things. And it actually works as a vape. Isn't that freaking cool? I don't know how the screen was working. I was gonna show you guys, because you play games on it. It's not learning to work right now. Let me show you guys. It's called Hello Cynics. Cynics. It's a Cynics 30,000. And it still has some vape juice in it. I don't know how to turn on the screen. That's why I had to turn on the screen. But once I had the screen turned on, I was showing it to my mom. I was like, Mom, look, it looks so cool. Chatting with random people. You know, I have a way of normally chatting with people. Oh, also, he shared Reese's Pieces with me. You know what Reese's Pieces are? Reese's Pieces. Oh no, it wasn't a Reese's, it was a Reese's cup. You know, it was 2 in a package, and he gave me one of them. And he gave me this. That's amazing. And really, really nice. So, we have a new lipstick. Oh, did I already show you guys the lipstick? Shut, don't go up.
Shut is more, distinguished for the closing of things which are normally from side to side. If you didn't know. If you didn't know, now you know. You have $1 trillion people that are my bestie friends and my soulmates, my vibe tribe. A university student and I work. We were talking about words of affirmation today, and also we were talking about the stages of change. Because you have to change the way you perceive the world for the world to change to your perception. That's what I think. I think you have to change your perception towards things. Who silenced you? I hope nobody silenced you. Gosh golly, T-Willikers. Welcome to the chat. Hello. Hey, no more doom scrolling for you. You found the place to be. Every human is weird in their own, her own way. His or her own ways. It's nice to be married to somebody that's weird, to have a wife that's weird, because if you're the office guy, you're always in the office, or always in the boardroom meetings, you want to come home to have a wife that's absolutely amazing. Not just in bed. Amazing in bed, and also amazing in the classroom. To be amazing in the classroom is kind of cool. I'm not sure if the opposite of helium is nitrous you know, this is a voice where they were like, Luke, I know your father. He's my best friend.
LOL. Let's not, have the chat all up in arms, you know what I mean? Relative, everything is about its personality and so relative. I was waiting. I was sitting, waiting, wishing you believed in superstition, then maybe you'd see the sign. I was waiting to talk to y'all all day. Had to be just stiggity, We had to have the back room all right, I'm sorry, the background all right, and everything. I would have an Iraqi passport. That would be fun. To travel, it would be similar to Jasmine and Aladdin. You can show me the world. Stiggity and tender. I said tender, not Tinder, because that's a horrid app. There's more people that have been married through Facebook than Tinder. If you guys, Ring, I was telling Stream that for some reason my ring finger on my left hand is sore. It's not swollen or anything. It's just sore. Maybe it's telling me something. Maybe it's telling me, hello, don't change. I won't. We have, so I think I think it might be because of my medicine that I've gained a little weight. And also, I've never been conscientious of my weight before. And honestly, I would marry someone that's overweight. I would marry a guy that's overweight. I thought about it. It's more to hug, more to cuddle up to keep me warm in the winter. Ask your friend Daksh. Goose. Daksh Goose. Carrie, it's fine. When your wife is happy, she plays Daksh Goose. Oh, I have this is my sea turtle. Sea turtles have life companions. Did you know sea turtles have life companions? You're usually more on the kind side. Sorry for being rude again. Am I being rude? I don't think I'm being rude. Broadcaster tasks have been sent. The audience will help me to complete the tasks. Yeah, that definitely before that. And good thing I don't have to worry about that because, you know, it's good. You know, this composite, you know, if there's composite resin, you know, it's breaking down all the, you know, the composite minerals, you know. Everyone's is liars. So you're telling me, what are you telling me that I'm lying about? You know, because I could show you I could show you guys the pictures. We should actually watch his YouTube, because he has a YouTube too. The one that you know, it looks like he's had a fat transfer. What is it? Revolving doors. All my Tomb Raiders are in the chat, you know. They're speaking about revolving doors and such. I have my coffee, and I have my pineapple juice. Pineapple juice. At least one of my cups have to have mushrooms on it. I love mushrooms. Mushrooms are sticky. Mushrooms actually are a species of their own. They, you know, there's different types of mushrooms. There's a lot of mushrooms that are really good for you. Actually, truly. They're actually good for you. You know, they're like, why did you say that in a British accent? It's better in an American accent. What? You know how to speak an American accent too? Oh, you forgot language. Oh, what is it? Oh, I was talking about whenever you know, you speak in an American accent, you know, when you have that, you know, you have that accent, you know, it's amazing. I talk like a lion. When I talk like a lion. The song of war. You know, that is my Eva. That is my Eva. Petite Bag Geo. Oh, you know, should we play those Geo games? You know, I bet you Eva would be really good at those Geo games. So, I was mentioning, you know, a walk in the park, you know, a talk with Eva, and everybody in chat, Moon, 2, Adam Smith, Curry, Liana. Eva was mentioning Syria, because, you know, Eva's serious, you know. Sprechen die Deutsch? That's about all I know in German. I think that German and Dutch. Is it German and Dutch? I don't know. I think that. There it is, close. I think that's close. You be forgetting? You have to ask Jeeves. You better ask Jeeves or ask Google. You can't be forgetting. Carrie, what about you? You know, I be Googling, I be asking Gemini. You know, Gemini was telling me what love is. Not a very smart woman, and I know what love is. Maybe I am a very smart woman. Maybe I am just a very smart woman. Vai Brasil! so they said, before you have a fat transfer, you have to have fat on your body first. So I was like, alright. I'm still petite. Now I'm petite with a little bit of umst. If you are a wound, I don't want you to heal. I see you sighed, or I don't see you. And if I ask my eyes, ask her goodbye. There is blind sight. I'm blinded by the eyes that don't see you. Too cheeky. You're too cheeky. Was that a poem? Did you just write a poem in the chat? Should have read that, read that in the sequence of man voice or something. A woman's voice? I'm happy with my voice. My voice is actually very soothing. That's my name. And you're obviously also known as Jenny Beats. You'd be waking up slowly in the morning. Maybe some espresso. Some caffeine. You drink yours in a small cup, I drink mine in a, kind of a big cup. Sticky. So I had my hair in a bun today, and, nevertheless, my hair is a little wavy today. It's a little wavy today. Someone like the American singer Rustage. I was listening to Bob Marley this morning. Any Bob Marley fans in the chat? Any Bob Marley fans in the chat? You glad to see? You happy to see? I'm happy to see you. May your happiness be forever. May God bless you. Eva and Eurydice can write a whole composition. Those composition journals? Sure, why? Give numbers, not relativity. Right? That's nice. That's really nice. 'Tis stickety. It requires the power of the gods. Requires the power of the gods. And skibbity. You asked first, so it wouldn't be unfair. That is really nice of you. And the way that you worded it, too, is really nice. Probably not going to be right to sleep with, had like 2 coffees. Coffees are actually good for me. Because, they haven't sent me my freaking ADHD medicine yet, so I feel like the only way to mitigate my ADHD is with coffee. Have this little thermos. What's that? He's like, I'm not interested anymore. That sounded like pee-pee to me.